Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 3 of Exploring Experiments with Cody. I hope you've all had a good week and were able to successfully make your very own lemon volcanoes. Now I have another 2 pretty cool demonstrations for you all today, but they do take a little bit more effort, so we're going to get straight into it. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be making what is called elephant's toothpaste, which is a big foamy substance where you can use science to wow your friends and family. We are then going to move on and make a little DIY fire extinguisher. Now with that one, because we're using fire once again, it's only going to be for a very small flame, but you are going to need adult supervision. But otherwise, we're going to get straight into it. So to start off, we do have our elephant's toothpaste, where we are going to be creating a giant foaming substance. Now the reason it is called elephant's toothpaste is because it will foam and look like a toothpaste sort material. But it's hopefully going to be so big that it looks like it's toothpaste fit for an elephant. So for this experiment, we're going to need an empty plastic water bottle. Will probably be easier for you at home. Today, I'm going to be using one of these though. We're going to need some dry yeast. Now you can get this easily at the supermarket. We're going to need some warm water, which I have here. We're going to need some liquid dish soap. I'm sure Mum's got some under the sink. We're going to need some 3% hydrogen peroxide. Now, you can get this from the supermarket in the health section. It's pretty cheap, but also just make sure you don't ingest any of that, as it can be a little bit dangerous. We're going to need some safety glasses, because of course in science, we like to be safe. I need a large tub or a tray. I'm using this bowl to catch all my foam. And we're going to need some food dye of your choice. I have some blue food dye here. But first of all, what we're going to do, we need to measure half a cup of hydrogen peroxide. So I'm going to open our hydrogen peroxide here, and we're going to measure half a cup in here. And there we go, half a cup of hydrogen peroxide. And we're going to carefully pour it into our bottle. But for me, it is this little beaker. So we're going to very carefully pour that in there. Don't want to spill any. And there we go, safely in there. And then what we're going to do, we're going to add a big squirt of our dishwashing liquid. Just one big squirt. Put that away. And I'm going to give that a bit of a swirl that around, give it a bit of a mix. Then we're going to add a few drops of our food colouring. I'm going to add a couple drops of blue in here. Going to put 3 or 4 in. 1, 2, 3, 4. And once again, we're going to give it a bit of a swirl until that is all mixed in. Now, in a measuring cup, we're going to mix together 1 tablespoon of yeast and about 3 tablespoons of warm water, which I have here. It's nice and warm still. And I'm going to put a tablespoon of yeast in there. I'm going to measure that out onto my spoon here. Tablespoon. And we're going to pour it in, and you're going to give it a quick mix. And our yeast smells a bit funky. We're going to mix that in with our nice warm water. We're going to stir for about 20 to 30 seconds, so make sure it's all dissolved, making a bit of a mess. And when we've done that, we're going to pour it into our mixture quickly. And then you want to step back to see our reaction. Now I hope you all can see that at home. You can see it has all fizzed up and bubbled over into our bowl. It is a good thing we had a bowl to catch all that foam, because you wouldn't want to make a mess like this. But you can see, I don't know if you can tell, it is still foamy and creating this foamy toothpaste sort substance. Now it does have a nice little smell to it, nice and chemically. And you can see that is still growing. So you got to make sure you have a nice big container, because you don't want that overflowing. But you can probably see all the bubbles in our foam in this activity. Do you know what makes this foam appear? It is actually due to when the hydrogen peroxide mixes with the yeast, it starts breaking down into just water and oxygen. Oxygen is a gas and therefore wants to escape this liquid. the dish soap that you've added will react with these gas bubbles, forming the reaction. Now this reaction will continue as long as there is some hydrogen peroxide and yeast left. As soon as one of them runs out in our mixture here, the foam will stop. Now it is actually still foaming a little bit, which is pretty cool. You can see it's almost filled our bowl with foam. So maybe you could try a few different combinations of our mixture and see if you can get it to make more foam. Maybe try it without the dishwashing liquid and see what happens, see what changes. I haven't tried that yet. But otherwise, there is our elephant's toothpaste. I think that worked pretty successfully. Hope you guys work as well. Hopefully you can try with some different colours, maybe put a few different colours in, try some stripes. But otherwise, that is the end of our elephant's toothpaste experiment. So now we're going to go on to our DIY fire extinguisher. Now, once again, this is a little bit dangerous. We are using a small flame. I'm just going to be using a candle. So please get mum or dad to light that candle for you. Otherwise, I'm going to set up our candle here. I've got it blue tacked down. Got my lighter. I'm going to put my safety goggles on for this one. Alright, so what we're going to do for this one, we need some white vinegar. You need 5 tablespoons of vinegar that I already have measured out here. We're going to need some bicarb soda. You're only going to need half a tablespoon of bicarb soda for this one. Put this away, I've already measured that out. We're going to need a funnel to get our bicarb soda in there. We're going to need a plastic bottle for this one. But yeah, that's all we're going to need for this one. So what we're going to do, we want to add our vinegar to our bottle. Pour that in, make sure you don't spill any. That's all in the bottle now. And then we want to, I'm going to light the candle first. Our candle is burning. And we want to put half a tablespoon of baking soda in here. So that's what I've got my funnel for, so it goes in easier. Alright, half a tablespoon of bicarb soda. That's a bit much. Alright, I'm going to funnel that in there. And you can see it starts fizzing straight away. Now what we want to do, we just want to, not going to pour it, we're just going to put it at an angle where the reaction and all the gas from inside our bottle can come out and extinguish our flame. Now, while this is still creating out, I'm going to light our candle one more time, and we're going to do that again. But now, of course, this would not work with a much larger flame, but this candle is only really small. You can see it's still fizzing, so I hope we can put it out one more time. You just want to squeeze the bottle a little bit to force the air out, and it extinguishes our candle once again. Now once this stops creating our reaction, it will stop being able to produce that air to put our candle out. Otherwise that's going to be hot and a bit waxy, so make sure you don't burn yourself. But otherwise our flame is extinguished. We've made our elephant's toothpaste. Mine is still bubbling over. I think it's just about done now. Nice and blue. I'd love to see what you guys are able to come up with. But otherwise, now please don't try this without a parent, as trust me, this wouldn't work with a larger flame and it might get a little bit dangerous. But otherwise, that's all I've got for you today. Good luck making your own elephant's toothpaste and DIY fire extinguisher. Have a wonderful week, everyone, and I'll see you again next week.